For this video I'm actually doing a collaboration with 3 other YouTubers and it's all dark creatures themed, so once you finish this look, if you want to, go ahead and check out their videos. Their looks are insanely good. But I'm going to start off with my one, and as you can probably tell, I'm not very well at this point. I wasn't feeling very good, so I thought I'd roll with it, and instead of making my face look better, I was going to make it look a little bit worse in some ways. First things first, I'm going to go with BB cream, but just on the upper part of my face. Anything like the spots that I currently have around my jaw and along my jawline, I'm just going to leave them and we're going to include them in the makeup. I filled in my brows and then I'm going to be using a contouring shade, and it's slightly too red for me, but again, it's what we want, so we're going to keep that right underneath the cheekbones, along the jawline, and blend that out. And if it makes the spots look worse, that's actually fine. We kind of want that. We want all the disgustingness to be on the lower half of my face. And then the upper half of the face, we're going to try and make it look a little bit better. With the exact same shade I used to contour, I'm going to be going over my lid, and I'm not going to prime this because after everything's applied, I'm going to be putting a gloss over it, and it doesn't really matter if you have a primer. Once you put gloss on it, it's going to crease. And we want it to look a little bit grungy and slightly disgusting around the eyes. So we're going to roll with it. And I'm going to take that same shade and run it underneath the lashes. But if you don't have this exact contouring shade, then feel free to use a very pale pink and then almost a red on the very outer corner of your eye. And you're going to blend it in, first just keeping it on the outer corner and then blend it on the upper and lower lid. We're going to be lining the eye, but mainly keeping it just to the outside of the eye. You want the bulk of the colour there, and then whatever's left, you want to drag it into the inner corner but keep it subtle. And on the outer corner, bring that colour down onto the lower lashes. And then on the inner corner of my eye, just underneath the brow, I'm going to be taking a brown shade and I'm going to be almost contouring just the very top of the nose, but not bringing it down further. Just to make my eyes look a little bit more tired and make the brows look a lot thicker in the inner corner and like they're kind of arching down a little bit. Then I'm going to line the other eye as well. And at first you just want to line it very roughly. We're not blending it too much at this point. But once you've lined it, go over it with a blending brush and make sure it's all smoked out. Under my skin. Over that, right down the centre of my lid, I'm going to be using a very pale metallic colour and just keeping that to the centre of my lid and then blending it out. And now we're going to do all the fun, disgusting stuff. You want to take a light brown eyeliner or a lip liner and you're just going to doodle right around the mouth. If it helps, just close your eyes, don't even think about it, and just scribble around your mouth. And then once you've finished, once you've opened your eyes as well, you want to thicken those lines, especially around the mouth, and then taper out the very ends. You can use your fingers or a brush for this. Closer to my mouth, I'm going to be using a red lip liner and I'm going to go over those exact same lines, and I'm going to be doing this quite thickly. Later on we'll take a brush and we'll blend them out, but for the moment it's just outlining. But why do I try to resist? Once everything's been lined up, we're going to take a little nail art brush and you're just going to blend that out. If you don't have a nail art brush though, another thing that you can use is a cotton bud, and that's very effective as well. Let's make it look a little more disgusting, and we're going to take some rigid collodion, and then in between those gaps that you've drawn with the veins, I'm going to put some rigid collodion, and I'm going to put quite a few of these, maybe 2 or 3. On some of them, especially the ones closer to the mouth, I'll put 4 layers just to make sure that it gets really deep in my skin. And now to do the complete opposite and create bumps instead of grooves in my skin, I'm going to take a little bit of scar wax, and then I'm just going to get some little balls, pop them on the skin, blend out the edges, and you can use your fingers for this as well. Just be a little careful because with heat it can stick to your fingers. And then with some mesh and some red lipstick, I'm going to dab that over the spots that we've created and over the mouth as well. So it should look really nice and blistered and disgusting. Over those bumps that I've made with the scar wax, I'm going to take a little bit of a pale yellow and I'm going to put that right on the top to make it look a little bit pussy and disgusting, like it's going to explode and all that loveliness. And then I'm going to take a fan nail art brush with a dark red, and you can either use Special Effects cream makeup or you can use red lipstick. Pretty much does the same job anyway. And then I'm going to go over those spots where I've used the rigid collodion to make them look even worse. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart. With lips, we're going to start off as if we're doing this neatly, and then we're going to completely mess it up. So I'm going to be using a dark mulberry colour. Now first I'm going to outline neatly, but then I'm going to be taking a concealer brush and I just want to blend the edges. You can use your fingers for this if you prefer as well. And especially on the upper lip, I'm going to really drag that colour up. And then also into any of the scars which have some of the rigid collodion to make it look as if it's kind of bled into these scars.
I said to myself, this affair.
And some of the deeper rigid collodion scars, I'm going to take a very pale pink and put that in the centre to make it look even worse. And then I'm also going to put that right on the arch of the Cupid's bow and blend that out with my fingers. On the centre of my lips, I'm going to remove a little bit of that mulberry colour and then replace it with a really bright red, the same bright red that I used on the veins earlier. And then I'm going to use a black eyeliner just on the corners of my mouth and blend that in. Just to make it look a little bit more gross and disgusting, I'm going to bring that line up and then blend it out so that it almost looks like a healed scar. And then we're going to put an excessive amount of lip gloss. Really, you can't put too much of this stuff on. And I'm also going to put it over those fake blisters that I've done and then in a few of the scars. I'm going to put on some false eyelashes as well to finish off. Under the arch of my eyebrow, I'm going to be using a cream eyeshadow and I'm just going to blend that in with my fingers, but again, if you prefer, you can use some brushes instead. And the very last thing I'm going to be doing is taking that same lip gloss and I'm just going to be applying it over the crease area and underneath the arch of the brow to give the eyes an oily, little bit of a revolting look as well, and like it's been worn far too much. And that's it. That's my Succubus look.
Got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in